Hi everyone, welcome to this week's and this live video from Pinnacle Executive Coaching. We are going to be talking about Dare to Lead, that is scaling up your leadership capacity. So a little bit for those who don't know me, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Teresa. I'm the founder and lead coach of Pinnacle Executive Coaching. Actually, my full names are Teresa Walehwa Akuka. I help executives, team leaders, supervisors, small business owners, individuals, and teams to discover how effective leaders always outperform ineffective leaders every time, and how you can be one of them inside my Dare to Lead circle. So as a high-working achieving executive myself, I perfectly understand just how challenging it can be to juggle so many different things at once and be that competent leader that my team looks up to. However, it was not always this easy. I used to dread waking up in the mornings, hated the constant work stress arising from being too results driven and highly critical as a leader. So this led naturally to feelings of anxiety and chronic fatigue. In my desperation, I started looking for help to develop my leadership capacity. And this is where my journey began. I learned the transformative power of being a highly successful and balanced leader. So today, I believe there's that new executive, an empowered executive, an executive who has crystal clear focus, that feels they're in control, that has mastered the art of courageous conversations, that manages skillfully the team dynamics. They are confident decision makers. They achieve outstanding results as a leader. This is for you if you're feeling overwhelmed by demands of your role, leading to feelings of inadequacy or self-doubt. If you're not connected to your team, or you feel that they are trying to sabotage you, perhaps if your habitual ways and mindsets are set up to playing safe rather than taking calculated risks as a leader, if you're bound by the fear of failure, or you're too stressed and you're lacking balance and know that it's time to create a sense of stability and pave a courageous path to the success you want, then I want to invite you to join me in my Dare to Lead circle. So in my Dare to Lead circle, it's an overview of many things. What are we talking about? We are talking about, first, discover what is the underlying issue. We do a deep dive awareness. So you dare to discover what actually is the issue, what is interfering with your potential. And then we look at affirm. Affirm is where I have a module called Authoritative Performance Accelerator. We dare you to recognize and affirm your strengths and use them to propel yourself to an authoritative performance. And then we recognize your options, your opportunities to overcome your interferences, anything that is interfering in you from achieving your full potential as a leader. We do that through a versatile leadership toolkit. And lastly, we have a module called Evolve, where we want to dare you as a leader to rise to an empowered state, where you review yourself, you review your team, you review your organizational growth, and hopefully rise up to be able to have an impact and strategy. So today, what are we going to be looking about? We're going to be looking at discover, the first element. So we're talking about discover, knowing what is not working, So when we're looking at this as a leader, this is for you if you're feeling overwhelmed by the demands of your role, which make you feel inadequate or doubt yourself. If you're not connected to your team, or you sense that your team is trying to sabotage you, or if your habitual ways and mindsets are said to be playing safe rather than taking calculated risks as a leader, maybe you're bound by a sense or a fear of failure. If you're too stressed and you're lacking balance, and no, it's now time to create that sense of stability and just pave a courageous path to achieve the success you want. There's a coach, an executive coach in the US called Marshall Goldsmith. She wrote a book called What Got Us Here Won't Get You There. It simply means in order to advance, you must keep learning, updating our capabilities. You have to get new leadership tools. And as an executive coach, I can help you to explore various options that will bring these solutions to the fore. Okay, so when we are talking about leaders, what are some of the things that come to your mind if you're thinking of an effective leader? You will think of a leader who can be able to achieve results, can be able to have outstanding performance, can be able to marshal the culture of the organization so people are engaged, and then is agile, you're fluid, you're able to move through different situations. If you're not able to achieve that as a leader, the consequences will be that you're not able to achieve your results. Basically, you're not able to spend valuable time with your family. You have no social life because all of your work life is just held out there. You will not be able to meet your expectations, and you will be so stressed. And the differentiator between leaders who are able to achieve and those who don't is emotional intelligence. Research shows us that leadership and the culture it creates are the only real differentiators between organizations. The difference in a successful organization is the leadership. So people usually leave lousy bosses and join great companies. So companies which have ineffective leaders are very vulnerable to losing the best talent. And that's why turnover is one of the measures of successful leaders. A great strategy which is implemented by an ineffective strategy is surely bound to fail. So, what do people look for when they are looking at an outstanding leader? There's a book that was written by two leadership giants, Robert Anderson and William Adams. It's called Scaling Leadership. They did an outstanding research, which just showed that, if you just compare leaders who perform and excel, then you can be able to come up with something very interesting. Strong people skills rank highest among the qualities, the strengths of leaders who achieve. But if you look at creative leaders who are able to work with balance, are able to achieve significant results, they are creative at a very, very high degree, at 79%. But leaders who are reactive, they have people skills, yes, but at a very low percentage, 28%. So it really cancels out their effectiveness. They are not able to achieve the success that we would want them to have because that is cancelled out. When we look at vision, to be a highly successful leader, you have to be a strong visionary. And we see, yes, reactive leaders have a good measure of vision, but when you compare it with the creative leaders, they far outpace them, because at 76% versus 54%, when you are looking at research, those variances are quite high actually. If you look at something like a team builder, are you as a leader able to move with your team and create something that they can be able to hear and listen? You'd find that team builders are able to achieve success as a creative leader at 61%, but a reactive leader is only able to achieve 18%. Leading by example, imagine 49% versus 7%. Listening is a very critical skill for leaders. We're always telling leaders you have to listen to your team. Reactive leaders were shown to only listen at 3%. So if you cannot be able to listen and know what is happening, then you cannot be able to achieve outstanding results as a leader. So in general, employees want leaders who are empathetic to their own situation. And we see from research that creative leaders are usually endorsed up to 2.3 times more often than the reactive leaders. And that's something very, very significant. So where are you now if you look at yourself as a leader and think of everything that I've said? Perhaps you're not just sure where things are going wrong with your team and you feel that they are trying to sabotage you. Or maybe you're just simply canceling out your strengths, You're thinking you are a strong visionary, but you have a very ineffective interaction, and therefore that doesn't take you anywhere. Perhaps you are dealing with an unproductive leadership style and a toxic culture exists in your team. Maybe you're crippled by fear and you're just unable to move out of the rut as a leader. So if that's your situation, it's not good, and you'd have to ask yourself, where do you want to be? If you want to be at a place where you are succeeding, then you have to stop second guessing yourself. You have to be at a place where you are confident as an executive who has a crystal clear focus, someone who feels that they are in control, they have mastered the art of courageous conversations, they are able to manage skillfully their team dynamics, they are confident decision makers, they achieve outstanding results as a leader. Someone who has been able to overcome anxiety, and you have improved relationships with your colleagues, with your friends, and even family, because at this stage you are able to have balance as a leader. So if this is not your reality, it means that you're groping in the dark as a leader. You are not self-aware, honestly. You are highly reactive, you are unbalanced in your leadership. And there are consequences to this. If you are an ineffective leader, just know that it's a very costly affair. It impacts the bottom line. Your staff morale and your organizational productivity goes low. You have a very poor leadership culture, which will contribute to low retention rates. The emotional well-being of your employees will be low. You will have very poor employee engagement. Remember, people don't leave organizations. People leave other people. Do you want to be that leader that people want to follow, to listen to be empowered by? So if this is not your reality, just know that ultimately your leadership is not working for you, and therefore you have unrealistic expectations. What do we mean by this? You might be thinking and wondering, why am I not succeeding? But you're doing the same thing over and over, and that's not having a realistic expectation. So the way to go about it is to dive deep, to really investigate. Where are you as a leader? What are you doing well? What are you not doing well, especially, so that you can be able to now rectify it? I offer a 360-degree assessment overview that helps you to get to the roots of your issues, to just investigate yourself and find out, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing it in the right way? Am I creative as a leader, or am I reactive as a leader? Am I canceling out my strengths? This is a feedback-based assessment, and it will just blow your mind when you're able to know this is exactly my problem, and immediately employ the right thing to correct it, and then you can be able to scale your leadership. And therefore, if you want to know more about this, please feel free to contact me. Reach out, give me a shout, and we'll be able to do that. Thank you so much for listening. It was such a pleasure. So that's the first item about my Dare to Lead circle. I'm looking forward to taking you through the rest of it. So stay tuned, engage, and be on the watch. We'll be talking again soon. Thank you so much for your engagement today, and bye.